Good morning. We at the River Trails Park District would like to welcome you to the River Trails Park District's Burning Bush Trails Park. My name is Bret Fahnstrom. I'm the Executive Director of the Park District. Burning Bush is a project of incredible cooperation, vision, and creativity. The village had a vision to improve the surrounding community with water mediation, and the Park District was already on a schedule to renew the park for community recreation. We combined our visions for community improvement and came up with a pretty great solution. There are many people who made this project possible, which we'd like to thank. The Village of Mount Prospect Mayor, trustees, Sean Dorsey and his incredible team, and his ability to work with CBEL and MWRD. The River Trails Park District Board for being open to the concept of digging out almost an entire park and knowing that there's a vision that would benefit our community on several levels. Lori and Sarah from JSE Architects for creativity and putting up with us and the staff. And of course, CBEL, the engineers who did an incredible job developing this project. Illinois Department of Natural Resources for the OSLAD grant for the recreation amenities, basically the west side of the park. And the awesome RTPD Parks team who managed this park project day to day along with the rest of the people. We are extremely excited to open this park, especially during the pandemic, in order to give our community a place of safety and play and enjoy the outdoors. We feel like this is a great resource to improve the residents' health and wellness during these challenging times. At this point, I'd like to introduce Sean Dorsey, Director of the Village of Mount Prospect Public Works.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to take just a few minutes to express our gratitude to a lot of the people who have been involved in making this project successful, not the least of which is the River Trails Park District, their board and their staff. They've been absolutely fantastic to work with. Of course, the Mount Prospect Village Board and all of our staff at Public Works have done a tremendous job on this project. And it would not have been possible without the financial support and guidance from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. So thanks to all of those parties. I want to take just a minute just to kind of explain what we're looking at. So Bret, this is a park. This is what a park looks like. The background on this project is kind of interesting because we were actually at a public meeting trying to get support for doing a stormwater detention project in this neighborhood. This neighborhood has had problems with flooding, homes flooding, basements filling with water for a lot of years. And it's been a really tough problem to solve because there was no open space to put detention, and putting big pipes under the street was super, super expensive. So we're at a public meeting, and just by coincidence, we ran into Bret and Tom Pope. And they were kind of like, hey, you know, we're doing a project over here. Maybe we could work together on a solution. And that's how we kind of came up with this kind of unique approach to redevelop the park, rehab the park, and improve the recreational amenities, which you see over here. And we also added behind me the stormwater detention element. So we've added about, I think, a little over 15 acre feet of stormwater detention for this neighborhood, which has just done a great job helping to alleviate flooded streets and flooded basements in this neighborhood to the north and to the east. I can tell you anecdotally that it's worked out great. Before we were able to finish the project, we actually had a pretty severe storm, and we had just finished the connections to the storm sewer system, which made this detention pond live behind us, and it worked fantastically. It worked perfectly, and it filled with water actually before we were done with it, and saved a bunch of homes from flooding. So it's very encouraging to see that it worked so well. I would note too that the project was completed on time and under budget. We worked with a great contractor, DeMayo Brothers, who I think someone's from here. They just did a great job. And of course, Christopher Burke Engineering did a fantastic job. designing the project, getting it permitted, and then they also provided construction engineering for us. So we appreciate everyone's efforts. And with that, I think I'll turn things over to Jennifer Rezek from the River Trails Park District Board.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Rezek, President of the River Trails Park District. The Park District mission is to responsibly enrich the lives of our community, diverse community. We feel this park is a perfect example of commitment towards that mission. Not only has the village been able to improve the lives through water mediation, the Park District has been able to give our community an amazing recreation resource for generations. The amount of families and individuals of all ages which have come here to utilize the playground, sports courts, exercise equipment, and walking trails has even exceeded our expectations. The Village of Mount Prospect has been incredible partners in the grand project. At this point, I want to introduce Metropolitan Water and Reclamation District of Greater Chicago Commissioner Mariyana Spryopoulos.
Good morning, Mount Prospect. I'm Mariyana Spryopoulos. I'm one of the commissioners at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today. We are delighted to be here today to cut the ribbon on the first of two important projects with the River Trails Park District and the Village of Mount Prospect. We thank the River Trails Park District and the Park District Board of Commissioners and staff, and I applaud our engineering department for their hard work and contributions. The MWRD's role is to treat the region's wastewater. Everything that funnels down your pipes in Mount Prospect and throughout most of Cook County is treated, cleaned, and returned to the environment safely. And it's designed to protect our water resources and our public health. But our other role as a regional stormwater authority for Cook County has taken on a new sense of urgency. As the last few days of rain can attest, we have a serious job on our hands. Rain is coming down with more intensity, and as it flows to our water reclamation plants, we have an increasing volume of water to manage. That is why partnerships like these are so critical. Each year, we put out a call for projects for our Stormwater Partnership Program, and in 2020, Mount Prospect and River Trails Park District came forward with a plan that we could support. Between Burning Bush Trails Park and Aspen Trails Park, the MWRD has agreed to contribute more than $4.4 million to the completion of these critically important projects. This is solid planning designed to consider multiple benefits, improving our parks and infrastructure to strengthen our communities and build resilience for the future. This is what investing in our communities is all about. I salute you for all of your continued partnership and commitment to our water environment, and I thank you for inviting us out to speak and celebrate with you today. In full disclosure, my husband used to play in this park as a child, and my in-laws live a block away and experience serious flooding. So I appreciate this from my family to yours. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. It is my job to introduce the mayor of Mount Prospect, Mayor Paul Hoefert.
Good morning, everybody. I'm channeling Bruce Rauner this morning in my Carhartt jacket and my tie. I'd like to share this podium this morning with my predecessor. If you wouldn't mind coming up, or let that go. That's blank. Come on up.
Okay.
This.
Thank you, Paul.
Well, absolutely. This project occurred under, sorry, I'm just getting my notes together here. This project occurred under Arlene's administration, and it was really a lot of her foresight and such at the village level that made this happen. So I knew she was going to be here, and
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on up. A few comments just before I start maybe the formal comments, but this story starts a long, long time ago, right? I actually have the dinosaurs written on my notes here. Started with the dinosaurs. This was a floodplain. This whole area was a floodplain, right? The river overflowed its banks, and that's the way that it was. Ratchet forward to the future, homes start popping up, and basements start flooding, and the river doesn't stop, right? It still overflows its banks. And just so you know, I look at this project as part of a continuum of many projects, starting with the levee and so on. And years ago, we, you probably participated in this too, we would sandbag up River Road, right? And on some level, I'm telling you, that was really heartwarming. The scouts were out there, people from all over town came to help their friends in need, their neighbors in need up in this area. One of my first memories, and it's really more of a picture memory than anything, is Carolyn Krause and Governor Thompson in a canoe paddling down one of our streets, right? Because of the major floods that occurred in 87 and 88. And then Mayor Farley took the reins and really made the levee come to fruition. And I know this isn't necessarily about the levee, but again, this all ties together. And you also need to understand that this doesn't end with today, right? There's going to be another ribbon cutting soon for the Aspen Trails flood mitigation area. And Sean tells me the larger pumps at the levee are soon to be in working order. So all of that plays together. I'll say my formal comments, and then if you wouldn't mind to say a few words, and I know I'm catching you off guard, but. So I want to begin by saying that this flood control project was a collaboration between the Village of Mount Prospect and the River Trails Park District from the very beginning. The Levee 37 interior drainage area is one of the worst affected areas in the village during the April 2013 storm event. That storm actually precipitated the immediate start of a feasibility study for this very project. The feasibility study was funded by the village and performed by our engineering consultant, Christopher B. Burke Engineering. And I know Chris is here with us today. This study was subsequently reviewed and accepted for use by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Office of Water Resources. The recommended plan was presented to the village board, and after appropriate discussion, the board unanimously voted to move forward to help our citizens. Today, all components of the Burning Bush Plan have been constructed and are in service, providing flood relief for hundreds of Mount Prospect residents. This project is the first fully completed project like this. The project itself provides flood mitigation benefits to dozens of residential structures, and in conjunction with similar improvements that I just mentioned at Aspen Trails Park and a supplemental pump station work at Levee 37, flooding is and will be mitigated for hundreds of residents in this area of our town. Now, the interior drainage feasibility study began in 2015 and involved one park district and two distinct neighborhoods and also the village. And as I said, it included collaboration with the Corps and with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. And funding, as already been said, from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. Interestingly, this improvement project was able to concurrently be constructed by the village's stormwater contractor and the park district's amenities contractor, thus reducing the length of time the park was closed to citizens, to the kids. In addition, we were able to reduce disruption to the drop-off and pickup times for the adjacent school, which is right across the way. That was extremely critical. This very important and necessary project will reduce the likelihood of overland flooding, which has severely impacted many homes and roads in the neighborhood surrounding the park for years. The stormwater detention project will also complement and enhance the work that the Corps, the IDNR, and the City of Prospect Heights, as well as the Village of Mount Prospect, have already accomplished through the Levee 37 project. The Mount Prospect Village Board and the positively impacted citizens are infinitely grateful to the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago for their contribution, their monetary contribution of $1.3 million, without which this $4.4 million project may not have moved forward. We're also thankful to the River Trails Park District for working cooperatively with the village, allowing the park to be transformed and utilized in a unique way by not only providing flood relief, but also recreational improvements for this neighborhood, which both boards serve. I can tell you, as a representative of a grateful board and a grateful community, I say thank you. You have helped bring relief and improve quality of life for so many here in this neighborhood and the surrounding area. So thank you. Now I'm going to put Arlene on the spot because I'm sure you have a few words you'd like to say.
What he said. No, I'm so glad that Mayor Hoefert mentioned Carolyn Krause and Governor Thompson, because it really highlights the fact that this is not a singular event for a singular project, but this is part of a long-term continuum of effort that goes back decades. And whether it was Thompson and Krause who got it rolling, or Skip Farley, Irvana Wilkes, myself, and now Mayor Hoefert, this really is part of a long-term effort. And one of my mantras over the years, especially when I learned to appreciate the hydrology of the village of Mount Prospect and its history, is there's so many people who move in and they want to tame Mother Nature or change it to their own vision of what it should be. I saw something in a magazine, I want that in my backyard. Really what we're all about is working with Mother Nature, working with the topography, the hydrology, the weather, all of the changing conditions, and working with each other to really make this work. So this is such a beautiful example, and I think would make a wonderful case study. I went to Northwestern, and we were real big in management school on case study method, and this would make such a wonderful case study in long-term commitment and long-term thinking and comprehensive thinking. It's not over. Weather is going to continue to change, but it's so wonderful that so many of us have gotten together to work cooperatively to make this part of Mount Prospect work for the homeowners, the recreation lovers, and my grandson loves this park, and nature lovers and everybody who has a hand and an interest in this property, not only for the River Trails Park District, but for the larger community, for the larger Cook County water system. It's why I'm so thrilled that we continue to have support from the MWRD. It's really, really critical. First of all, we're very lucky that we have such a comprehensive region-wide stormwater management entity that can kind of help us guide everything that we're doing. So let me add to everything that Paul said. This has been a wonderful effort. To thank the Park District, the MWRD, Christopher Burke Engineering, everybody else who's been involved in making this work, especially the best Public Works Department in the state of Illinois, the Mount Prospect Public Works Department. Thanks, guys.
All right, in closing, excuse me, first of all, I really appreciate, Mayor, that you brought up Mayor Juracek, because you obviously were a big part of the whole process of us doing this. And on our side of board, we're in the same situation that Ed Reckner, who has been a longtime board member and board president for many years, almost every year that I've been here, and now Jen Rezik has taken over the mantle and is charging forward with it. So it's been an interesting time to have two different people involved with the one ribbon cutting here, then soon to be the one at Aspen. So again, thanks to all involved. It's been an incredible process, an incredible project, and we're really excited going forward. As I said, this park has even amazed us how much traffic, how many kids come here to participate. Families come using the quiet nature area, using the sport courts, using the playground, using and obviously with the ball fields really mostly opening at the end of this year. Really looking forward to a really big year of soccer and baseball. Thank you to everybody who came out today to be part of this. Please If anybody's interested, you're welcome to. The first one at the top of the playground does get a cup of coffee. And for anybody, we do have a plaque, a thank you plaque for the Park District and for the village. And we'll also have one of those over at Aspen, and we're looking to have those put into large stones so that they're a little more permanent than what it looks like right now. We will, just as soon as we're done here, we will do the ribbon cutting just to the north of the Tot playground right here next to the shelter. And then we'll do pictures thereafter. And if anybody wants, I do have some coffee and tea on the inside of Burning Bush. So again, thank you all for coming. We greatly appreciate it. And well, the sun's out now, so enjoy the rest of your day.